And to my cousin, Margaret Carey Porter, I, Evelyn Carey, leave a cameo brooch of Neapolitan design, my collection of milk glass, and an original oil painting of the Matterhorn by an unknown Swiss artist. To my cousin, Henry Pearson, I leave free and clear title to Crowhaven Farm, its house, outbuildings, and 80 acres of woods and farmland in Essex County, Massachusetts.
Congratulations, Mr. Pearson.
Thank you very much.
There is a codicil. Should the said Henry Pearson fail to take possession of Crowhaven within 30 days after being notified, the farm shall then automatically become the sole property of the aforenamed Margaret Carey Porter. Is that clear?
Perfectly. I intend to drive up and take possession of Crowhaven Farm this weekend.
There it is, baby. Your ancestral estate.
My friend, you've come a long way from that fourth floor walk up in the village. Would you believe a walk-in fireplace? Hand-paint floors, beams, ceilings, fantastic. Felicia, where's Ben? Well, he's out checking the barn, I think.
didn't know that cellar door was there.
How did I know where the old well was? Or that secret panel upstairs?
Oh, you probably heard your folks talk about this farm when you were a kid.
Felicia, do you believe people can live more than one life?
You mean reincarnation? Of course I do. Well, I've lived dozens of times. I was a priestess of Osiris in Egypt. And
Felicia, be serious.
I am being serious, Lovey. I know I've lived lots of lives.
That's how I feel about this place. I've been here before. I've cooked in this kitchen. I've lived here. And Felicia, I don't want to stay. I can't. I'll go tell Ben.
That's just a small expression of my gratitude.
For what?
For this. For all this beautiful, beautiful space. And that barn. What a great studio I'm going to have.
Ben.
I may even turn that loft into my own private gallery.
Honey.
Ben Porter's Crowhaven period.
Ben, I've decided something. I can't stay here.
What? Why?
Well, it's an old house, and the repairs would be very expensive.
Well, I can do a lot of that. And there must be some local handyman who can do the rest just as soon as we can afford it.
Then you're not being logical.
Maggie. Baby, don't be logical. I have a very strong feeling about this place. About us.
Honey, we'd be so far away from everything.
Look, Maggie. Lately, with you and me, things have not quite been the way we wanted. Well, I know it's a lot of my own frustration. No recognition, no sales. And the thing about the baby. So we need a change. But here we can breathe. We can unwind. Be closer than ever. Oh, Maggie. Maggie, please do this for me. Do this, and you can ask me for anything. I promise. I promise you on everything I've ever felt for you. On our wedding rings. Please?
Ben?
Yep. Baby, what is it? Maggie, what's the matter?
I went exploring in an empty meadow, stone wall. I thought I heard. I saw.
No, look. It's just the sun. You're overheated. Why don't you go in the house and lie down? Take a rest, huh? Good.
Missus.
Who are you?
Cheever. Nate Cheever. I'm what they call a handyman. No job too odd for me, Missus. Your husband hired me to mend the foundation. Fine old house Crowhaven is, but it wants looking after.
Don't look so frightened, darling.
Just a few of your weekend neighbors dropping in to say welcome.
The party started at our place, and Fritz said...
Why don't we invite the pretty new people at Crowhaven?
But you don't have a phone.
Only that didn't save them, did it, Kevin?
We had this impulse to share.
And the weekender's rule is, if you have an impulse, obey it.
So we brought the party to you.
I hope we're not intruding, Mr. Porter.
Intruding? Of course not. This is one of the greatest welcome wagons I ever saw. Come in, please. Come
Very
in.
kind, very kind.
Welcome to Crowhaven Farm.
Well, are we getting...
So good to see some new faces in this neighborhood. You've no idea how dull these weekend parties can become. Week after week, the same old...
You know my motto, baby. Eat first,
You
drink
know what I
later.
mean.
Mrs. Porter, you've inherited quite a monument to the past in Crowhaven.
Fasten your seatbelts, everybody. Harold is about to conduct another one of his tours to the 17th century.
17th century. That was in the Puritan times, wasn't it?
Yes. Brampton was an early Puritan settlement, founded about 1650, with all the same attractions as its larger neighbors, Salem and Andover, including witches and witch trials.
Witches?
Yes. Oh, nothing quite so spectacular as Salem. Yet, there was a nice practicality in the Brampton witches. For instance, there was a certain Martha Lawson. She had a husband, Martha did, whom she didn't much care for.
How well I know that feeling.
Divorce being unthinkable, Mistress Lawson looked about for an alternative. Acting on the advice of a friendly witch, she took off her wedding ring and passed it to a bona fide representative of the coven.
The coven? What's that?
The witch equivalent of a bridge club.
Before you could say the Lord's Prayer backwards, husband Lawson was dead, and his soul signed, sealed, and delivered to the devil. At one time, half the population of Brampton was suspected of witchcraft, accused by the other half. Actually, there were 8 executed, 7 were hanged, and 1 was pressed to death. The accused witch was placed under a wooden plank. Then stones, such as our walls are made of, were piled on top. Usually, they were trying to get a confession. But if the accused wouldn't confess, she was finally crushed under the weight.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Harold, that's enough.
Too much. Come on, everybody, have another sandwich.
Yep. Yes, you got it.
Make me
I've made enough for
Yes.